Hi, I'm Alice and I'm an artist, and I wanted to tell you the story of how COVID-19 has affected my life and work. This is my commute to work every day. Obviously during lockdown I wasn't able to go to the studio because it was shut, which had a big financial impact on a lot of artists. Artists need to obviously make work in order to be able to sell it. Luckily the studios are now open and we can get back in and start making work again. Okay, so this is my experience of what happened last year, lockdown, professionally and personally. I was really, really busy. I had spent the last 3 years building up to 2 solo shows. It was sort of like, for me, it was quite a big break because before then I'd had a few solo exhibitions, but these ones felt like they were the first ones that had really been exciting. I'd used snow and wind and all lovely things to make the work, and I was really thrilled to have moved on with my work and was very excited to show it as a sort of end point. So I arrived down in Wiltshire at the first show called No Ruined Stones, and the background COVID was kind of bumbling away, but no one really knew what was going to happen. Everyone thought it was likely to be locked down, but we weren't really sure at that point. But we hung it anyway. We hung it on the Wednesday, and as we were hanging it, the news of COVID was more and more and more, and literally pretty much the minute he'd finished putting all the work on the wall and I'd finished doing the sculptural pieces, there was an announcement that there was going to be a lockdown from the Friday. So I was obviously had to go home, and I was locked up in Edinburgh, and my show was locked up in Marlborough. Slightly ironic, really. We were both locked up at opposite ends of the country. And the nice thing about the show in Marlborough was there was a big picture window onto an alleyway, so anybody that was passing could go and have a look through the window. So that was nice, to think that it wasn't completely unseen. The first lockdown locked up my show, but the second and third lockdowns meant that I was becoming increasingly worried and concerned about my own family and friends. COVID wasn't a dystopian novel, it was actually real and pretty scary. So I realised I could have lost somebody really close to me, and it gave me a lot of fear associated with the rest of my family. My mum was pretty frail, my father's got cancer and dementia, and partway through the lockdown my mum had a stroke. I'd gone down to help for a couple of days, and I was actually there when it happened. She fell over in the garden, and we had to call for an ambulance. And I had to get into the ambulance and give her a kiss and say, "You'll be fine, I'll see you soon." And I never knew if I would see her again. So that wasn't great. But she's fine, and she got better. But there is that fear that now with my parents, that at any time if they got COVID, they would definitely die. There isn't a doubt about that. My mother's got terrible lungs, my father's got a heart condition, so that's just been an underlying fear through all of this. So the other interesting thing that happened to me during lockdown was that my exhibition No Ruined Stones was picked up by Ian Mackay, who's the editor of the Art North magazine, the president of the Scottish Association of Artists, Society of Artists, contacted me and said that Ian was interested in putting work into a virtual VR gallery that he created online. So that was very interesting. You know, I just sent him the images. That's all I sent him, and he created this extraordinary exhibition where you could actually walk around the show, looking at it all on the wall as if you were really there. And the most exciting thing of all was one of the pieces was with a poem by Fiona Sampson, and he made a short film where you could actually walk basically into the image.
Line, Manticore, 1. The line that is a creature scratched in stone is also a line of light lipping along the mineral edge of itself. Light shining from stone like flame from flint. The lion man shines and burns in the holy stone, and blurred along the cuts, meniscus like tears that absorb and spread brightness, its mineral grain.
I think the other thing was that the city was so changed. It was so different. There was no noise, none at all. I made a recording every morning at 11 o'clock of the sound of the city, and it was just extraordinary, the difference. The birds were so loud and cheerful, and nature, there was a fox in the garden and there were loads of birds. So it was just incredibly quiet, no planes, and so the air was really, really clear. It was crystal clear, and the light was beautiful. And I felt like I was back to my childhood really in the Lake District, where you felt very much more in connection with the natural world. You felt your place in it. And I think it made me really think about my practice again, which has always been quite deeply rooted in the natural world and ecology, to realise how important it was and what damage we were doing and the impact of man on the environment. Just us not being in the world had sort of made it so much nicer for the birds and the foxes and everybody. And you just think, we're not getting this right, really. We're really not getting this right. And I think that's a good thing to come out of all of this, that we are part of nature, and a virus which is part of nature, can really impact us. I think that was a big lesson. Something obviously you knew, but that was really, really cool.